for 10 days on your choice of cash eruption slots. Download the DraftKings Casino app and sign up with promo code THEFAN. That's promo code THEFAN. Then choose from 10 different cash eruption slots and let it spin. In partnership with DraftKings Casino, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older. Physically present in Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days, valid for featured games only, and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends January 25th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Now, Fan Headlines, powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
All right, Joel Nelson for Fan Headlines. Later today, NFL on Westwood 1 doubleheader. The Texans take on the Chargers at 4:30. That's followed by the Ravens and Packers at 8 o'clock. A Green Bay win would give the Steelers the AFC North. Ahead of that, though, Pitt takes on East Carolina, 11 o'clock in Annapolis, Maryland, in the Military Bowl, and coverage on the Fan begins right now.
Get you ready for today's game with the Pitt Panther Preview Show. The Pitt Panther Preview Show is brought to you by Bellman Electric, Hampton Beer Outlet, Cranberry Dental Studio, Leon's Billiards and more, the Feeney Insurance Agency, Food for Thought Deli, Voss TV and Appliances, NSS Life, Klein Keppel Koriak, Saloni's Italian Bread, Nova Place Parking, Lot 17 Bloomfield, and Nick Chevrolet. The Panther Preview Show is on the Pitt Radio Network.
Good morning, everyone. It is a bright and early Saturday morning. The sun really isn't even up, or at least I can't see it. And we're getting set for college football, the final game of the season for Pitt as they take on East Carolina in the Military Bowl. Both teams at 8-4. It'll be played at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. And Bob Pompiani here in the studio with Johnny Patrician, who's here bright and early after Christmas, and we're joined down there at the stadium by both Doran Dickerson and Pat Bostic. So we have a foursome here, Pat Bostic. This should make you feel right at home.
It makes you feel right at home, Bob. I mean, you play as much golf as me, so
No, you play more. Let's
this
get
would
that
be a foursome I'd like to play with. We'd have a lot of fun.
Yes, we would.
We'd have a lot of fun, although I'd have one bone to pick beforehand. Pat, Mr. Bostic, you know I love you, but I'm trying to sign into your computer here in the station. I tried 13.9 as a password, but that didn't work.
Yeah, that's too predictable. So I don't want to get my identity stolen.
I gotcha.
Well, listen, we're here talking about the final game of the year for Pitt here, gentlemen. And this was a season that had a lot of promise until a couple of losses at the end by Notre Dame and Miami, but a lot of good developments here. Starting with Mason Heinschel, a quarterback. He came in, won 4 straight road games. They go 6-2, Johnny P, and 4 300-yard games. He was certainly a centerpiece for what they did. And as only a true freshman, he has a lot more to offer.
Very impressive. I think we talked about him all year. I think the Florida State game and the Georgia Tech game were the two highlights of the season for Pitt football and for Mason Heinschel in general. For Pitt fans, I think it gives us something to really look forward to, knowing that he is, re-signed, or we extended the contract, in NIL terms, I guess, nowadays. But I think, there is some questions that still need to be answered. I think the two big games of the year, the Miami and the Notre Dame game, where he didn't look his best. But in a grand, the full-length season, for at least the Mason Heinschel, He's been great. He's been great. More than what any Pitt fan could have asked for this year, and gives us a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday on the ride down, Pat and I, and just for him to create the foundation that he did this year was fantastic. Fantastic to be an 18-year-old young freshman, to get the opportunities he did, and to showcase his skills. And this season, in my estimation, was a successful season. Whether whatever happens today, I do believe that the Pitt Panther team is going to take care of business, but it was a successful season. You found your quarterback for next year, and he has a foundation, obviously a lot to work on. And some of the issues and the things that, came about throughout Mason Heinschel's season this year, I have no problem with living with, because he is so young. You knew some of those things were going to happen. He was going to take some chances that maybe he won't take next year. He may be a little bit smart. He's going to be a little bit more mature. He's going to work on his details as a quarterback, but a lot of credit goes out to this coaching staff, and especially Pat Narduzzi, for making that switch whenever he made it. And that was a tough deal. Like, it obviously worked out, and people and Pitt fans were happy with the decision. But at the time, it had been a very tough decision to move off of Eli Holstein, a guy that played very good football last year. Obviously got banged up, but had a rough start this year. And you make a switch to a young freshman, and he really elevates you this season. So a lot of promising factors for this Pitt football program moving into 2026, but you got to finish it up today. They have two guys that actually won't play, in Kyle Lewis, who is going to go to the NFL, and Desmond Reed, who is going to go to the NFL. So you got your little bit of a nucleus of your team to play today. So go out, take care of business, finish this season out strong, and get 9 wins. That's the focal point.
Yeah, and Pat, we talked about guys who are opting out or going to the NFL draft, as Doran just said, with Desmond Reed and Kyle Lewis. You understand all of that, but there's also a lot of just opt-outs and transfers and things that really changed the direction of a game. And in this game, I mean, ECU has been hit pretty hard. This line started at like 3.5 or 4, and it's now up to 12. Pitt is favored, and that's because they've lost their 2 offensive coordinators, their quarterback, and others. So, Pat, how does that affect how things roll in this game, and how Pitt may be preparing for some guys they haven't seen all year?
Yeah, no, I mean, you don't know who's going to play quarterback, and these bowl games take on a life of their own. Obviously, college football, there's a lot going on in the month of December if you're not in the playoff. These group of 5 teams, we saw it with Tulane, James Madison in the playoff, losing their head coaches. They were able to coach the game, but obviously there was a transition coming. For East Carolina, their head coach is in place, and Blake Harrell has done a really good job there. But you said both coordinators have departed. They've already hired an offensive coordinator. I doubt that he'll coach the game or if he does implement any of their new offense until spring practice. But the offensive side of the ball for the Pirates is pretty decimated. Caden Hauser, their quarterback's opted out, going to transfer. London Montgomery, their leading rusher, is opting out, going to transfer. Yannick Smith is a number 2 receiver, transferring. And Javante Connor, the tight end, their primary tight end, is opted out. So this is what happens for schools kind of at that G5 and even at the Power 4 level at this time. The portal's not open, but guys want to immediately start vetting their options and not play so as to get ready for their next opportunity. So for Pitt, they have to prepare for who's at quarterback. Will it be Ditta or Mike Wright, who's been a well-traveled, seasoned veteran, more of a runner at quarterback, transfer from Northwestern? Ditta's a true freshman. And obviously a new set of tailbacks. But really this East Carolina team, they've made their money on defense, and they've got their full complement of players on defense. And Blake Harrell, their head coach, is a defensive guy. They're the number 1 defense in the American in virtually every important statistical category. So that'll be the battle, is if Pitt's offense is able to do what it does, and most importantly, control the line of scrimmage. I mean, this is an East Carolina team that's got 30 sacks on the year, so they can get after the quarterback. And those 2 losses at the end of the year, Miami and Notre Dame, really those games were lost up front. So Pitt will need to control the line of scrimmage today.
All right, another interesting thing is who will step up, which leads us to our Pellman Electric moment of the game, or moments of the game. And I'm just curious, we'll go around the table here. And Johnny, begin with you. Without Desmond Reed, the running back depth has been hit here. Of course, you have Boozy Turner, who's going to be really good, a true freshman also. So talk about the depth there, and who would you expect to step up today on offense, given the fact that there's some these guys who are not here now moving into this bowl game?
Right. Well, I think the Pitt team is going to lean on Boozy Turner, full-handedly here. Jules Goff is leaving, and without Desmond Reed, I think we get a full dose of Boozy Turner, which I think is really what he's looking for, a preview of heading into next year. I know we kind of got a taste of that with Desmond Reed being in and out of the lineup all year long, and Boozy Turner kind of passed up some other guys in that running back room, and I would say it's a skeleton crew in the total running back room right now. But Boozy Turner, from this point going forward, is going to be the guy to lean on. He's going to be the leader in that room. He's going to be the experienced player. He's going to be the guy for younger guys to look up to and learn from. And with his rise to fame, rise to power that you can say in the latter course of this second half of the season here, he's really impressed me. I mean, he has a pop to him. He's electric, and he's not a huge guy. He's still a young kid, 18-year-old kid that will really benefit from Mike Stacchiotti's offseason weight program this December, or this January coming up here. but he can pop, and he pops off the screen to me, and they're going to lean on him heavily today in the Military Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going to go with on the defensive side of the ball with Kyle Lewis being out, and I expect Kyle Lewis to be a decent draft pick. I think he's going to be able to affect and be a good product in the NFL and be a good portion of what some of these defenses do in the NFL. So he has a bright future, in my opinion. Obviously, he's 6'2", 220 pounds. He can play safety, play linebacker. So maybe they create a rover position for him. But with him opting out and getting ready for the NFL, I would assume that Cam Lindsey out of Aliquippa, the redshirt freshman, will get the opportunity to play outside backer for the Pitt Panthers today, and he saw the field a lot this year with Kyle Lewis banged up every once in a while, Rasheem Bowles being banged up every once in a while. So Cam Lindsey is going to look to really make his mark for this end of the season and heading into the offseason. And he's a good player. He was a real decorated high school player on offense and defense for Aliquippa. As a basketball player, I think he won a state championship. So it's nice to see, another Whippy product get an opportunity next to Braylon Lovelace, who's a Whippy product on this defense. But Cam Lindsey, he plays with, a high level of energy. He's in tune. He's instinctive. I can't wait to see him get his opportunity today with Kyle Lewis going to the NFL.
I'm going to go up in the booth, actually, with Randy Bates in this defensive, club. And obviously, JP, you know him well. Been here, obviously, for a long time, coach for over 40 years. This will be his final game coaching. He's going to retire. He's going to hang him up. And it's really fitting. This obviously, this football team, the guys that have played for Coach Bates love him. This team is no different. They play incredibly hard for him. He's been a great leader on that side of the ball for the last several years. But, he was a lieutenant in the Navy. He worked here at the Naval Academy. I talked to his wife, Tracy, this morning. The superintendent here on the grounds here at Navy was actually a player that played for Randy when he was here. So this is a fitting culmination. I think these guys are going to, play with their hair on fire for Coach Bates today, and certainly wish him the best in his retirement. I'm not sure how he's going to pull it off. The guy loves football, so we'll see how long it lasts, but certainly well-deserved.
Yeah, Coach Bates is like a grandfather to all of us, and he's that cool, that quirky guy that you can always expect to have a bundle of energy with him in every room that he walks into. And I know he really came onto the scene, and a lot of Pitt fans became familiar with him last year or 2 years ago when, he was battling cancer, and, and the team rallied around that. But in addition to that, he's a great guy. He's a grandfather. He's the one that still makes the funny jokes that a teenager would make. He hasn't changed at all. He knows every single person in the coaching and football world. He was the guy that James Harrison went to at Kent State and begged to let him walk onto the football team. Which is just one in a million stories that Coach Bates has. And I'm excited for him in retirement. But like you said, Pat, I don't know how he's going to do it, because that guy eats, sleeps, and breathes football. And I would imagine him to be kind of like Coach Junko in a way, and sort of, yeah, you retired, but did you really retire? You're still here every day,
He's one of those guys that they're going to miss him, certainly. And he's decided that's going to be it, but I agree with you, JP. I don't know, you can't just turn off that switch. Right. It's going to be a slow-moving thing. Those are the moments of the game that we expect here, presented by Pellman Electric. Pellman Electric, cutting-edge electrical contractors covering the tri-state area. Before we go to the break, I want you guys to state your case, which is brought to you by Hampton Beer Outlet, Route 8 in Hampton. Tailgates are better with beer from Hampton Beer Outlet. It's the largest selection, best prices. Drive a little, save a lot. Pat, I want to begin with you. I want to take a look at the state your case on this season. How would you go back and explain to anyone at the end of the year who hadn't seen the Pitt Panthers play, and let's say they win this game and get to 9-4, what would your takeaway be for the Pitt Panthers of 2025?
Yeah, I think it's pretty successful given the start, right? Obviously, the 2-2 start after the loss to Louisville, and obviously a heartbreaking loss on the road in Morgantown. You really are at a crossroads in a lot of ways, and Pat Narduzzi had the fortitude to make the call at quarterback and go to a true freshman. It paid off handsomely with the Boston College win, but then to go win at Florida State and then rattle off those wins, set yourself up for meaningful football in November, a championship type of run, playoff mentality. And I think at that point, you felt like the arrow was pointed up. I still feel that way, but I felt like Pitt, saw where its gaps were against Miami and Notre Dame, particularly up front. Maybe on the perimeter a little bit, certainly those are two playoff caliber teams. Miami obviously beating A&M, and Notre Dame should have been in, but weren't for whatever reason. And then obviously you beat Georgia Tech, who you're more, like-minded, more, obviously more evenly matched against them. So I think A, you made a lot of progress. B, you found your quarterback, and if you have a quarterback, you got a chance. You found your quarterback of the future for the next 2 years in the process, and then you found out where you stood at the end of the year in terms of, are you a top 25 team or are you a top 10 team? And you're able to see that measuring stick, which I think we won't learn anything more in that way today. You want to finish the right way, but I think the offseason, starting with that portal opening on January 2nd, you can address some shortfalls that made it more difficult to compete against the likes of ND and Miami.
Yeah, Pat said it best. I mean, close, in my opinion, close but no cigar, but you're in the cigar shop. That's how I looked at this Pitt football season. You're in the cigar shop, but you haven't lit the cigar yet. And, there were so many different ways that Pitt found ways to win this year. Guys being banged up. Desmond Reed, coming into the season, one of the most electrifying players in college football. Him banged up all year, but guys stepped up. Ja'Carrion Turner, Boosie Turner stepped up. Jules Goff at times stepped up. So you facilitated around some of the big-time guys that were banged up this year. Kyle Lewis banged up, as I said earlier, Cam Lindsey getting opportunities. You found freshmen that could be a part of this winning culture this year in Sean Lee on the outside at corner. So you're in the cigar shop, but you just got to find the right cigar and light it for the 2026 season. I think that this was a very successful season. I was very happy how this thing turned around and how these guys rallied, and Pat Narduzzi, how he rallied the guys and kept them engaged, and especially that Georgia Tech game, giving yourself an opportunity at least to see how this season could end and potentially making it to an ACC championship game. That's all you kind of ask for in those moments. So they're close, in my opinion. We'll see what happens in the offseason. Pat said it great. You got to find interior linemen. You got to find guys that can dominate up front. That's really where the game is won and lost, and we saw that against the big-time dogs this year.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think, like you said, Pat, after the 2-2 start, in golf terms, I think Pat Narduzzi played this lie perfectly. I don't think he could have played it better. I remember vividly we were down there at Acrisure Stadium under the tent when the news broke out publicly that Mason Heinschel was starting and Eli Holstein was being benched. And, I mean, Doran, you had a head start on that, because you're Mr. Insider himself. But Bob and I looked at each other and we were like, oh, my gosh, like, what do we had no clue what to expect. I mean, we were Googling this guy's name to figure out things about him.
And it took a while to know how to say it correctly.
Yeah, exactly. And I did not feel good about it. A low-level recruit, a guy that didn't have a ton of offers. I don't know anything about this guy. And Eli Holstein, the former blue-chip recruit, Alabama transfer, was getting benched. I did not agree with it, although he was playing horrible at the time. But I was like, oh, my gosh, this is, a risk-it-all type decision. And, man, he couldn't have been more right about that. And that decision really made Pitt football exciting this year. I mean, we had College Game Day, 2 top 25 matchups at home, the win on the road against Georgia Tech, the win on the road at Florida State. I mean, there were some fun moments this year for Pitt football, and not that being relevant is something to celebrate, but Pitt football was more than relevant this year. After the 2023 season, the debacle there, and it's been a couple years now, and after they fell off the cliff last year, starting out 7-0, and then lost 6 straight to end the year. I think Pitt football was put back on the map this year with Mason Heinschel, and like we both talked about, there are some pieces that need to be improved and addressed going into the offseason, and Pat Narduzzi will have his hands full, making a decision for defensive coordinator, which, this is me lobbying for Ryan Manilak right now. I think he's the perfect fit for it, but that's neither here nor there. Pitt football's put back on the map this year. Credit to Pat Narduzzi, credit to Mason Heinschel, and I think all of us included, we couldn't be more excited.
So, guys, what happens to Eli Holstein then? Does he just leave? Is that how it works now? Transfers, moves out, looks for another opportunity?
It doesn't have to, but that'll be an option that he will explore likely to go play. And I would imagine he wants to go play somewhere. And Mason has taken his opportunity. Not only was the door open for it, he kicked the door down with the opportunity. So this is his team and his program as the starting quarterback. And I would imagine Eli will seek other opportunities, which is the way college football works, especially, with how easy it is to move on now and transfer. But I will say this about Eli, that's a difficult situation that I think he's handled really well.
Mm-hmm.
He got thrown into some games, didn't make public comments, didn't, you've seen guys opt out for the whole season, leave, obviously he's been dutiful and been professional about it. Not easy to stomach that, having been in those shoes, not the same situation. But I'm really proud and admire how he handled it, whatever he decides to do here following this season.
Yeah, and wherever he goes, I think he's going to do very well too. I really do. Whether it's a North Texas or something like that, and a team like that, I think that wherever he does go and he gets an opportunity, I think he's going to go do well, and we're going to see his name throughout college football as the years do go on of being a very quality quarterback. He has the skills. He just is a very unfortunate situation this year, and that's a part of ball. But I think he's going to do well wherever he goes, and wish him good luck.
Yeah, I think how he handled the situation, it couldn't have been more professional, and I think it made all Pitt fans, a bigger fan of Eli Holstein. I think everybody will root for him no matter where he goes. And Pat, Doran, you guys both know how situational this thing is. Like, he could go easily to another school and, blow it out of the water. I mean, he clearly has the ability. He just needs to, to piece everything together. I mean, I was looking at the television the other day, and Keaton Slovis is on an NFL roster right now. Pitt fans were not happy with how he performed in that season that he was here. But as we all know, it's so situational. He could easily end up in the NFL. It's not crazy to say that. He can go to a smaller school and have a stellar season, and his numbers could be outrageous. I mean, this is a quarterback carousel throughout the country now, and it's all about finding the right fit. And, he will connect with a former coordinator or former quarterback coach somewhere, and they'll make him the guy. And he deserves to be the guy, and I think all of Pitt will root for him because of how he handled this situation. And like you said, Pat, that is not easy for any competitor to do.
Pat, before we let you go, you and Doran, you said at the beginning, carpool down there. Did you do any carpool karaoke? And if so, what were you karaokeing?
Well, we did do some carpool. Well, I sang more than Doran.
Yep.
I don't think Doran knew the songs that maybe you did.
Start humming it. You didn't know the lyrics.
But we went on live on X for an hour and a half?
Hour and a half,
Just ripped it for an hour and a half. And that was fun.
Yeah.
It was incredibly fun. And you can check it out on @ScoreandDoran on X. But watching Doran fumble the camera, the phone, as we tried to get it set up. And then I almost had a Clark Griswold moment when I almost veered into the other lane because a truck was in my blind spot. I thought it was going to go under the undercarriage, in Christmas Vacation. But all is well that ends well. No, we had fun, and it's good to have the All-American riding sidecar with me.
Well, Pat, we look forward to the top of the hour when you will join Larry Richard for the network pregame show, and then, of course, the call of the game coming up here today at 11 o'clock, an early start time. Before we let you guys go, you specifically, Pat, and then I'll get these guys. What about early start times? What does it do to your body? How do you get prepared for it? It's not a typical time that you see it all throughout the course of a season. What do you do as a player?
I think it's easier personally to play earlier than it is to. Pitt's a morning practice team, always has been under Pat Narduzzi. We were more of an afternoon practice team when we played, Doran, but I think it's easier. I think the harder ones are the later games when
you got to wait around
all day. Got to sit around all day. I think you get up and at it. It's nice down here. It looks like the sun might come out at some point, and good temperature. Get up, get at it, get a W, and head back home.
Yeah, I agree. I was a afternoon practice team at Penn State and a morning practice team at Pitt, and I like the morning schedule a lot more, surprisingly, which was a surprise to me. I agree. I think you get all your work done the day before and you lay your head on the pillow the night before the game, knowing that everything is done, your film study is done, your preparation is done, and you just wake up and play the game and you don't think. When you have a 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock game, you sit around all day, like you guys said, and you're constantly thinking, okay, what more can I do? Can I watch another game of film? Can I, review these notes and tendencies? Where, with the early start like this, and this is earlier than usual, you lay your head on your pillow last night knowing all the work is done. You just get up and you go play and don't think about it. So I think it's an advantage for Pitt being a morning practice team. And, let's see how they wake up, eat their pancakes, and get on the field.
All right, Pat, have a good broadcast. We appreciate your time here, and we'll look forward to the call coming up today at 11 o'clock.
All right, guys, appreciate it.
All right, that's Pat Bostic joining us here. When we come back, we're going to put JP on a roll. brought to you by Saloni's Italian Bread. We also have Keys to the Game, brought to you by Nick Chevrolet in Tarentum, Pennsylvania. And, of course, we'll go by the numbers. Take a look at some of the interesting numbers we have in this game between Pitt and Eastern Carolina. That is going on today at 11 o'clock. Both teams 8-4, but East Carolina has lost a lot of players here. Transfer portal, whatever the case may be, opt out. We'll talk more about their players, what Pitt has to do against them today to finish 9-4 when we continue right here on the Pitt Panther Preview Show on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
You can catch today's game on the free Odyssey app as well. Later today, NFL on Westwood 1 doubleheader. Texans take on the Chargers at 4:30. Ravens take on the Packers at 8 o'clock. Implications for the Steelers in that game. A Green Bay win seals the AFC North for Pittsburgh. For more, go to 937thefan.com. Headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. You can catch up on the latest Pittsburgh sports news anytime. Just tell your smart device to play Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
93.7 The Fan from Odyssey.
Pittsburgh sports, smart and able. Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Hi, friend. Lanny Fratteri for Klein, Keppel & Koriak, a full-service certified public accounting and business advisory firm practicing for over 40 years. If you need forward-thinking advice due to today's economic uncertainties and challenges, the experienced professionals at Klein, Keppel & Koriak can provide that guidance. For a consultation, call 412-281-1901 or visit 3kcpa.com. Work with the experts at Klein, Keppel & Koriak because your business is your future.
At JeepofPittsburgh.com, it's our wrap-up-the-year sales event. Bring us your best offer on any new Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram truck, and we're going to beat it. No games, easy as that. Visit JeepofPittsburgh.com for all the details. We truly are Pittsburgh Jeep Store.
You've got a big day, so you use Unstoppable Scent Boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end-of-the-day meeting like a
bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
SchultzFord.com. 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 SchultzFord.com.
Headed to the game? Start your day or end your night at Lot 17 in Bloomfield. Lot 17 proudly serving great burgers, salads, sandwiches, and wings to the blue and gold faithful for 25 years. Whether you're pre-gaming with buddies, meeting new friends while watching the game on TV, or celebrating a win post-game, Lot 17 is your go-to spot. Kitchen open every night until 10 p.m. Just minutes from the action. Park it at the lot, Lot 17 in Bloomfield. Check us out at lot17pgh.com.
This holiday season, give yourself the gift of a brand new ride. South Hills Kia is unwrapping amazing December lease deals. Slide into a 2025 Kia Telluride S all-wheel drive for just $359 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. Or take home a 2026 Kia Sportage LX all-wheel drive, only $225 a month for 24 months with $39.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. Lease offers exclude taxes and fees. No security deposit required. These offers melt away January 2nd, 2026. Visit southhillskia.net and drive into the new year in style.
Looking for extra cash this holiday season? Keystone Shooting Center wants to buy your used guns. Keystone offers competitive pricing on single firearms or entire collections. They are the fully licensed and legal way to sell your used or unwanted firearms. Stop by their store today for a no-obligation appraisal. They'll even travel to you for larger collections. Visit 925 Sheridan Drive in Mars or call 412-357-8000. Keystone Shooting Center, Pittsburgh's shooting destination.
Legendary doesn't happen by chance. It happens because it's what BetMGM does. Sign up for BetMGM and check out all the exciting ways you can boost your bets all weekend long. Amplify your winnings with special boosts, build a same-game parlay, enjoy live betting, and more. If you're a fan of pro or college football, you can take advantage of special promos like a second chance on a first touchdown bet. Plus, keep an eye out for rewards dropping in your account all throughout the season. Ready to give your weekend a boost? Never settle for the ordinary. Sign up today for BetMGM and make it legendary. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. BetMGM.com for T's and C's. 21 plus to wager. Pennsylvania only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 7 days.
Must finance HMF Low APR tier 1 through 2 plus tax, acquisition fee, title, plates, and dealer doc fee. Must finance HMF dealer's choice for Santa Fe rebate. Hybrid models only. Not all buyers will qualify. In stock units only. Offers end January 2nd, 2026.
The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event is going on now at Mike Camlin Hyundai. New 2026 Hyundai Tucsons and Santa Fe's. Both available with 0% financing for up to 60 months. Or receive up to $4,250 in rebates. MikeCamlinHyundai.com. All Mike Camlin Hyundais are backed by owner assurance. America's best warranty. 10 years, 100,000 miles. And the Mike Camlin Advantage. Oil changes for life.
Live from the ShoreKeyMitsubishi.com studios, North Huntington and North Hills. Now back to the Panther Preview Show. Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
We're back with Pitt Panther Preview. Bob Pompiani, Johnny Patrician, Doran Dickerson with you as we get set for Pitt and East Carolina today in the Military Bowl. Both teams 8-4. Pitt is a whopping 12-point favorite suddenly after a lot of the East Carolina players have either opted out or gone to the transfer portal, whatever the case may be. You know, Doran, this is something that started way back when, and I guess it was Christian McCaffrey who was the first to do it, and Leonard Fournette followed. And it was only if you felt like you had something going for the NFL and you were not going to be able to just, play a bowl game because you don't want to hurt yourself. That was 2016 or 2017, one of those years. And here we are now, Doran, to the point where how many people are opting out of games, and it really does kind of water down a lot of these bowl games.
It does, and you have to figure out a way to incentivize these bowl games and make them actually matter. But even if you do that, you see the guys that do opt out of the playoff games as well. So a lot of guys are just looking at their future and don't want to take chances in the extra game in college to have something happen before they go to the combine or before they go to a Senior Bowl or before their pro day. So it is something that has grown, and like you said, since Christian McCaffrey and Leonard Fournette about 6, 7, 8 years ago. But this is the way college football is, and there's a lot of different things that have happened, obviously, in college football in the last 8 years, NIL, transfer portal. So, I look at it, and somebody asked me, I think yesterday, they're like, would you, if you were playing in this game and you were, had the season you did back in 2009, and the things were the way they are now, would you play in this game? And I was like, you know what, that's so hard for me to answer because – I know that teammates change and transfers and things of that nature, but the reason why that I wanted to play back in 2009 in the bowl game was because these are the guys that I worked with for 4 years to try to get this opportunity to try to be, one of the best teams in college football. And it just wouldn't want to look back and say, I missed that last opportunity with the guys that I really cared about and my teammates. So it would all depend, if I had a high draft grade, where we were at. Like if we were in the playoffs, there's absolutely no chance that I would ever opt out. Like if we had a chance to win a national championship, no chance. But it is a case by case basis, and I don't fault the guys for doing it. I really don't, because this is their future, and you don't want to have something happen that you don't get that chance at the NFL. But this is where we're at, guys. Like college football is so different. It's going to change even more in the next coming years, and it's just here to stay. And it's very entertaining, but at the same time that there's a lot of stuff that we are accustomed to a decade ago that is just out the window.
Right. It's case by case, Doran, like you said. I think perspective and fan opinion has changed and evolved in the last 10 years of these decisions, and it's going to change even more. I think what really started it was Jake Butt, projected first round pick, tight end, Mackey Award winner. Tears his ACL in the Orange Bowl versus Florida State, I want to say. And, ends up being a 7th-round draft pick. Career was never the same. Now he's on Big Ten Network and doing pretty well for himself. But who goes to say, or, who says that his career would have been totally different if he opted out of that game there and never tore his ACL? We'll never know. But I remember, like, yesterday when Christian McCaffrey did it, Leonard Fournette did it, and everybody was up in arms. Everybody was so mad about it, saying, how could you do this to your team? And I had this conversation with my dad the other day because we were watching the Christmas Day game, and Jordan Addison had that game-winning touchdown. And I said, Dad, that's Addison, my former teammate from Pitt. And my dad meant no ill will towards this at all. But he, like a lot of other Pitt fans, he's a little mad that Addison left Pitt. And I was like, Dad, if I was offered, $1.5 million to go play somewhere else too, you probably would have supported me in that decision. And I think it's just a perspective thing in this whole decision of playing, not playing, transferring, not transferring. If your son or if you were offered X amount of dollars to go do it, you probably would too.
Yeah.
Do you guys, are you agree with me there?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like
money talks.
It
does.
Always
does.
Yeah.
It does, and especially at a young age. I mean, you think about it. If you are a really good college football player, and maybe you don't have a high draft grade, and who knows what's going to happen in the NFL, but you can make over $1 million in college. Like that sets you up for your future. Like whether you play or you don't play in the NFL. So it just and a lot of parents and a lot of families haven't been able to deal with this amount of money. So you're getting all kinds of angles of people in your ear telling you to do this, telling you to do that. Meanwhile, you're 19, 20 years old. You don't know how to handle that much money. So if you just paint a picture of this happening, the clearest picture is like, yes, take the money. But there's obviously ramifications if you take the money and you move out of an offense, or you go to a different system and then you don't play. Like there's so many things that go into it that I don't know if players take into account, and families either. So it's a very good situation in a way for young players to get paid. I'm all for that, but there has to be some rules around it moving forward. I don't know how they're going to do that.
I don't either. But they're going to have to do it. But here's the other thing: the money's so big now that players are opting to stay into college because they're going to make more than they would in their first year of the NFL if they get there. So that leads us to By the Numbers, which is presented by Klein Keppel Koriak, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm. And we're going to tie it into JP on a Roll, which is presented by Saloni's Italian Bread. Now it's affected coaches. And by the numbers, here's the number here, boys. It's 8.2, as in $8.2 million. Kyle Whittingham had announced that he was going to retire after Utah, 21 years in that program. Tremendous career there with 177 wins, 28 losses, whatever it was. And he was going to coach his team in the Las Vegas Bowl, which is on December 31st. Now, all of a sudden, Michigan finds a Sharon Moore situation on their hands. It gets messy, and Kyle Whittingham decides, I'm not going to retire after all because I have 8.2 million reasons. It's affected everyone, John.
Right.
Everyone.
It has,
right?
Yeah. And I love the Kyle Whittingham hire for Michigan. I saw on Twitter yesterday he follows 4 females on Instagram, and all of them are related to him. So a different angle there than Sharon Moore.
Very different.
But Kyle Whittingham, I just saw on ESPN this morning, over the last 8 years, since 2009, Michigan versus Kyle Whittingham at Utah, the wins and losses almost identical, the points per game almost identical, and the conference championships almost identical. I think he's a great fit for Michigan. He's a blue-collar, physical, kind of Pat Narduzzi style type coach. I remember a couple years ago when they beat they took the belt out on USC and Caleb Williams in the Pac-12 championship, and I remember thinking, wow, this Utah team is physical, man. It looked like a varsity versus JV team, and that's how he coaches his guys, and I think that'll fit in perfectly at Michigan. But to your point, Pomp, the coaching carousel, which I know we're going to get into that, right?
Yeah, you can do it right now because it all ties together.
I think it all starts with a blade of grass in State College. A blade of grass in State College on September 29th when those referees up there called the running back for Oregon down, where he was trying to get back up, and he did get back up. I don't think he was down. He fumbles. Penn State picks it up, goes 80 yards the other way. They're inside the 5-yard line. If that play doesn't get called back and they don't call that running back down, which they did, I don't think James Franklin gets fired because I think they win that game versus Oregon. Who knows if they end up beating UCLA? You would like to think they beat UCLA off of a win versus Oregon the week prior. James Franklin never gets fired. Brent Pry's not the DC at Virginia Tech. I mean, so many things. There's a ripple effect that who knows what happens in the college coaching landscape Who knows if Sharon Moore ends up reaching out to that female? You know, there's just so many things that go on, these X factors that we might never know. But it's interesting to follow along.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how it happens. You know, the expectation level is. It's just funny to me that he was going to retire, and I remember listening to him saying, "Well, I've reached an end. It's 8.2 million will change your mind in a hurry." All right, we got a lot more to get into. We're going to break down Pitt and ECU coming up. Both teams 8-4. When we come back, we're going to have our keys to the game. That's presented by Nick Chevrolet, and also guaranteed picks. We're going to take a look at the college football playoff as well, because that gets underway on New Year's Eve and then into January 1st with 4 very interesting games here after half and half in the first round of the playoffs, which featured a couple of blowouts. We'll get into that and more as we continue on Pitt Panther Preview Show right here on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Now, fan headlines powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville.
NFL on Westwood 1 doubleheader later today. The Texans take on the Chargers at 4:30. Baltimore takes on Green Bay at 8 o'clock. Green Bay with a win would seal the division, AFC North that is, for the Steelers. Both games available free on the free Odyssey app as well later today. Fan headlines are powered by Bowser Genesis of Monroeville. For more, go to 937thefan.com.
Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 9 as the Pittsburgh kid Neil Walker joins the Fan Morning Show. Tune in or listen on the Odyssey app as Neil gives you the latest on our Pirates. The Neil Walker Show brought to you by Mike Camlin Hyundai, Goodrich & Guys, Pittsburgh's personal injury attorneys, and Bet365 on Sports Radio 93.7 The Fan.
Hey, it's Andrew Filipponi for the FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 93.7 The Fan, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. NFL Sunday's coming, and you've got your crew, your couch, your snacks, your sleigh, and FanDuel is coming in with something extra. This isn't just another NFL Sunday. It's your chance to place that perfect parlay or hit your go-to player prop, and now they're making it even better because this week FanDuel's bringing the bonus. That's right. Right now, all customers can get a 50% profit boost on any NFL bet. So you've got the Steelers on the road against the Browns today as a small favorite, and who knows what's going to happen given what's going on in the division with Baltimore and what is on the line today potentially for the Steelers. Visit FanDuel.com/Andrew to download the app and get in on the action before kickoff. 21 plus in present Pennsylvania. Opt-in required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms. Sportsbook.FanDuel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You know the rush when you reach that goal? When something you've worked for pays off? That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start January 7th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Trucking isn't just for drivers. PGT Trucking needs professional staff to help support their men and women out on the road. With positions in safety, recruiting, driver training, fleet management, maintenance, and more, you too can join the proud professionals of PGT and play a major role in the supply chain. Ditch the boring desk job and get in on the action with PGT. Call 1-800-TEAM-PGT or apply online at pgttrucking.com/work. That's pgttrucking.com/work.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Nugget bells, nuggets all the way.
Hi, I'm Kylie.
I'm John.
And I'm Garrison. And a little thing we love about the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets
Is sharing them when we cut down the Christmas tree.
we will pack the car with gifts. And of course, we go and pick up our family's favorite nuggets.
Every nugget is tasty times quadrillion.
And we get all the sides.
Yeah, the ooey gooey mac and cheese is a big hit.
Share the nuggets, share the joy. Order the 30-count Chick-fil-A nuggets on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hello, fans. My name is Michael Feeney, owner of the Feeney Insurance Agency in Fox Chapel. My insurance agency represents Erie Insurance, a leader in the auto, home, business, and life insurance industry. I have represented them for over 20 years and insure many of your neighbors' businesses, homes, and automobiles. Contact me for a free review of your personal or commercial insurance needs. Go to FeeneyAgency.com for more information.
Call the Feeney Agency and get a quote today, 412-963-8850.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-507-9701. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-507-9701. That's 800-507-9701. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Voss TV and Appliance is my game plan for quality appliance and exceptional service. Pat Bostic here for my friends at Voss TV and Appliance, a trusted third-generation family-owned business. Voss carries many big-name television and appliance brands and provides helpful and honest guidance on product selection. Voss also has the best prices and most reliable service in the area. Get Voss TV and Appliance on your team today. Call 412-650-VOSS. That's 412-650-VOSS or visit VossTV.com.
Now back to the Panther Preview Show. Sports Radio 93.7, The Fan.
Bob Pompiani along with Doran Dickerson and Johnny Patricia. We're getting you set for Pitt and East Carolina. Both teams 8-4. It's the final game of the year for each of these teams. Military Bowl today at 11 a.m. Bill Hillgrove, Pat Bostic will make the call on that game. Doran Dickerson down on the field. He's there with us now. And coming up at the top of this hour, it's going to be the network pregame show. Larry Richard, Jeff Hathorn, and company will take you through that as well. I want to get to the keys of the game, Doran. These are presented by Nick Chevrolet, Tarentum, Pennsylvania. Before you buy, give Nick a try. Start with you, Doran, on your keys to this game. What has to happen for Pitt to come away with a win?
Well, take advantage of the players being out, and not just the players, but the coordinators being out. There's a lot of missing pieces for this ECU team. They have the same record clearly as Pitt in this bowl game, but their offensive coordinator is gone, their defensive coordinator is gone, their quarterback is gone, their running back is gone, their tight end is gone, one of their receivers are gone. So, but their defense is still intact, and that's really what they hang their hat on is how they play defense. So, if you're this Pitt defense, take advantage of what ECU doesn't have on offense and control this football game. Obviously, play physical, but on offense, guys like Ja'Carrion Turner are going to get a great opportunity to showcase his skills even more. He's been a nice surprise this season and, looking to be the number one guy heading into next season. But Ja'Carrion Turner, run the football on offense. Mason Heinchel, protect the football. On defense, just get after him. Get after him all day and close the season out with a 9-win season and head into the offseason.
Well, I appreciate the alley-oop, Doran. I want to talk about Nick Chevrolet real quick, my family's car dealership. Nick being my grandfather and also my middle name, which I'm named after. Come check us out right off Route 28. If you want a car buying experience that it is not, you're not going to be treated like a number at one of these mega dealers. Come check us out, nickchevrolet.com, 724-224-2700, or hit me up on social media and I'll get you taken care of. I've never seen us discounting trucks the way we are. I've had a couple friends getting over $10,000 off in rebates and discounts this month on brand new Silverados, 26s. So come check us out. But in terms of today, I'm going to say the key to the game is Pitt coming and their will to win. This is an easy game to sleep on. East Carolina, maybe not the bowl they wanted. I think East Carolina, and Doran, you know this, I know this. Those kids at East Carolina, they're playing today trying to prove to other teams around the country that they belong at the Power 4 level, that they belong playing in the ACC. Those guys are all jealous of the guys playing at Pitt. I'm sure they know a lot of them from high school recruiting, and this is their point. This is their chance to prove it and put it on film that they belong at that level and a reason why they deserve to get some money in the transfer portal.
All right, we have just about a minute left here, guys. I'll make this quick. It's Guaranteed Picks, brought to you by Voss TV and Appliance. Family-owned for over 60 years and the lowest prices in town guaranteed. I want to go through the college football playoff real quick. Give me a winner, and then we'll end with Pitt and ECU. We have Miami and Ohio State. Miami coming off a 10-3 win, low scoring against Texas A&M. Ohio State 9.5-point favorites. Who do you got, Johnny?
I got the Buckeyes.
Doran.
I got Ohio State.
Covering?
Oh, no.
Okay. Next one on January 1st would be Oregon, Texas Tech. The Ducks are 2.5-point favorite.
I got Texas Tech.
Texas Tech as well.
Alabama, Indiana, 9-1. Indiana at the Rose Bowl, a 6.5-point favorite.
I hate to say this because I want Indiana to win so bad, but I got Alabama.
I got Indiana, the Hoosiers.
And the last one would be Ole Miss, Georgia. Georgia's a 6.5-point favorite. That one at the Sugar Bowl.
I got the Georgia Bulldogs.
Give me the Bulldogs as well.
Bulldogs are going to win that one. I have a feeling as well. All right. Now it's Pitt and ECU. We have 20 seconds. Give me a final score. Doran, start with you.
34-14 Pitt. They take care of business, finish this season up strong.
I'm going to go 31-17. The Pitt Panthers are going to finish it off strong. Mason Heinschel leading the guys into next season.
There you go. And Pitt would have a 9-win season if that is going to happen. Takes place at 11 o'clock a.m. Coming up next, it's the pregame show, the network pregame show for Doran and Johnny. I'm Bob Pompiani. Thanks so much for joining us. Happy holidays. And Pitt, East Carolina, coming your way next.
Kohl's clearance deals are so good, you might want to brace yourself before you shop, because up to 70% off can do things to you. Sudden goosebumps, racing pulse, involuntary gasping at prices. You may even feel the uncontrollable urge to brag to someone, anyone, even Deb, the checkout lady who's seen it all day. Don't worry, that's just the thrill of Kohl's clearance. Shop it now in-store and